welcome everyone to the newest installment of the tier list series. It's honestly been popping off on this channel. Crap, we need to do it again.
It's been pretty good. You know, the last two kind of popped off, one more than the other, but we figured we would kind of jump off that success onto something that's pretty popular right now. Even, I think it's still popular, like a month or 2 months later. Like, it's still going pretty strong. We're doing a Lethal Company Monsters tier list. We've been playing a lot of this game. This game's interesting, how it blew up. It's the most unlikely game, in my opinion, to blow up like it did, but it also makes sense because of just how fun it is.
Feels like Among Us 2 is what it feels like.
That's what a lot of people are saying, yeah.
I was going to say that.
In my opinion, this game is a lot more fun than Among Us. Like, Among Us kind of got stale and old.
I agree.
Like, you had to, like, use mods to make it, like, fresh. This game is still, like, even on vanilla, this game still, like, pops. Let's go and get started.
Well, I don't think we actually did our introductions. So, it's me, Selden, TFT Mix. I do a lot of editing on the videos on here, vlog style editing, things like that. I'm joined with Charity.
Hi. I do stuff, I guess. Oh, graphic design, I guess. Let's say that. Richard doesn't need an introduction.
I know, I'm the most famous one on the YouTube channel now.
See those views, dude?
Anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. So these are just the mobs. We're not including anything like the machine gun turret or the mines or the quicksand or anything like that, because it's not really like a living thing that can kill you. But everything else is game. So let's start with the snare flea, the little fucker that wraps around your head and kills you. Like, I think you have 15 seconds, I think.
Is that the little fucker that like sits
drops
in the
down from
corner?
the ceiling and hops on you? Yeah.
Yeah, that bad boy is you know, A or an S. It
Really?
scares the
Okay.
shit out of me.
Whoa.
He scares me.
What?
Okay.
Unsuspecting.
Okay, Charity,
Okay.
number one, there are multiple ways to survive this little shit, and you can kill him with, like, one shovel hit.
All right, you know what? I'll say it.
Okay.
Charity's right. It's an A tier. For comedic timing alone, this bug always hits whenever you don't want it to.
It's
wow.
You don't know where it is. It's
No,
the fact
that-
that
okay,
the
that
first
is
time
true.
I saw it was in the corner of a room. I looked at it and that fucker jumped on me.
Well, my thing is, you can actually see them pretty easily if you're just looking up. You just got to make sure you look up. But the thing about it is, whenever you're not looking up because you're like panicked or scared, that's when this thing hits, and that's when it's the funniest.
That's the thing. You never see it when you look up, I feel like, because I hardly ever, like, spend my game just staring at the ceiling, because I'm always looking for other shit. So he always pops up out of nowhere, and, like, I know he's there if you see, like, a little vent open on the side, but even still, like, you're always, by that point, you either are working on, like, a coil head or a bracken or something, like, and he just kind of comes out of nowhere. In my opinion, he's definitely not an S tier. I probably wouldn't have put him at A, but since both of you kind of are thinking it, then I'm kind of down.
I can
You know
be
what?
talked
We'll bring him
to a
down.
B.
Yeah, we'll
think
I
B.
can do a
Yeah,
or
I was
C,
thinking B
you
was
know.
a lot more appropriate because
Okay.
if you're alone and he hops on you, you're just fucked. Like,
Yeah.
and you know, that's just part of the game, which kind of makes it like, oh well. But if you got a buddy who hopefully has a shovel, or they can guide you to a door, you know, there's a lot of ways to get out of this fucker's grasp. So
He's bonkable scale.
I think it's a perfect,
10 out
like,
of 10.
B tier creature, in my opinion.
Yes.
Are we all good with that?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good with it being a B tier.
All right. So next up is the bunker spider. How are we feeling about this nasty little
Yeah, he is a
motherfucker?
nasty
Pretty
little
scary.
man.
Probably
pretty scary,
the
pretty-
nastiest of the bunch.
Pretty yuck.
Yeah, definitely yuck. I don't know. He's kind of like a little bitch. You know what I mean?
He kind of is. Like, when you see him, you're like, God damn it. You know what I mean? Like, most of the time, rather than, like, being scared of it. He also
It's
just
just
kind
hearing
of
the
comes out of
footsteps.
nowhere. Like, you'll go through an area,
Yeah.
and then there won't be anything, and then when you come back in, he'll be there. He kind of just
Yeah,
shows
he doesn't
up.
really like make an area as his web. He kind of just goes all over the place.
Yeah.
But hearing the
I
footsteps
do think it's
echo-
cool how if he kills someone, he wraps their body around,
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's
web.
nice.
Like, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
But it's not too
I don't
hard to
know.
kill. It doesn't, like, one-shot you. You when you see it, you're kind of like, oh, well, there's a spider, you know, now I gotta play around it. Not like, holy shit, we need to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
I say this is a B boy.
I'm saying C. This
I was
guy's a
thinking
little
C,
bitch.
yeah.
Yeah, like
C?
this guy, he
Alright,
ain't nothing.
fair.
He ain't shit.
So I think it's just an average kind of deal. I mean, he's still cool, like, to play around, and he can be creepy, but I think that C is probably the most appropriate for this
C
boy.
for Kiter.
Alright, so now we have the hoarding bug. Honestly, this fucker's just more annoying than anything.
Yeah, fuck these guys.
Let's
For
give
some
him an
reason-
S because he's cute.
What? Okay.
I would not have defined him as cute, but yeah, you go
Yeah,
off. I
this guy
think
pisses me
that
off, I'm not gonna
the
lie.
only thing that he's good for is showing you where some loot is. Other than that, he randomly decides to attack. It's not
And
like you,
always, he always attacks me.
I feel like it's just you can't predict when he's gonna freak the fuck out and just start attacking. Like you can, sometimes he'll chase you, even if you leave him alone.
He chases me to the
Like,
end.
it's
Yeah,
just
it pisses me
fucking
off.
annoying.
I guess I don't run into him as much as you guys do, because every time I see him, every time I see him, I scream because he scares me and he's in the shadows constantly. But I guess I don't run into him as much as you guys do. My vote doesn't count for this one because I don't have enough experience with him.
I'm thinking D. He's not F.
Yeah,
just
D
because
tier goof
there
ass.
are advantages to this mob. Like he's always going to be around loot and stuff, but everything else is kind of annoying. Like he's not really scary or anything. He's nasty. He makes nasty little sounds.
Yucky.
So we thinking D for
Yeah, fuck this guy.
for my dude. All right, so now we got the Bracken. In my opinion, this is probably an S. This is one of the best.
Oh,
Best
mobs
I
in the
think this
game.
guy's. I think this
The
guy's.
the
Still one of an
fear and the moments that this guy brings to the game. Countless times of just sneaking behind people and snapping their necks like it's nothing. Like you'll be near your buddy and then you hear a and you'll turn around and you won't even see the Bracken. You'll just see your buddy's body just fling around a corner. In a dark room with nothing illuminating except his eyes. He's just so good.
His eyes is fun. I like him a lot. I think he's S tier.
The stories that come out of the Bracken make it like really scary. Like I appreciate his design and what he brings to the game.
When I went and saved you from him, Selden, when you got cornered in that one room and you couldn't leave
Yeah, I
because
was
he was
scared.
pretty much
He was
blocking the
literally
entrance.
blocking me.
Yeah. Kind of easy to play around, I will say. You're just like, okay, just look at him real quick and back out. But that doesn't work all the time. And when he does go into attack mode, storms after you. You're like, holy shit, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I like him because his moments are either like you saw a flash of him and no one else did, or like if you especially play the mod, there's a lot of people. Like if everybody looks at him, it's like he just goes in a rage mode. You're
Exactly.
like, oh shit.
So, I don't know. I'm a big fan. So I'm thinking S, our first S tier. He's iconic. He creates a lot of really cool moments in the game, and it's just a solid, scary mob to go against. So, all right. So now we have the Thumper. So how do we feel about the Thumper?
I feel like I cannot get away from this guy. I say that, but actually the other day I got away from him. But like this guy, like, oh my god.
I don't really know what he does, to be honest with you. I guess
He eats the
pumped.
shit out of you. You die pretty quickly to him.
I don't think I've ran into him as much, but I know you could hear him pretty easily, so he's pretty easy to get away from,
Mhm.
you know, if you're listening and stuff like that. But I don't know how scary it is. People just hear him and they go, "Oh, Thumper," and then we all just kind of evacuate, you know.
Yeah, because he has this presence where like you can't stay in the area he's in because he's gonna catch up to you.
Yeah.
It's kind of inconsistent with how he like moves too. Like sometimes he's really slow, but sometimes he's fast. Like I know it's like a straight line thing, but I feel like sometimes he'll turn a corner at like Mach 10 and just get you instantly.
It's happened to me. You definitely turned on me before.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know. I'd say for the fear factor, though, it is one of those things where it's like, when you see it, everybody yells "Thumper" and
Yeah,
run.
and everybody
like,
runs. Yeah, like I'm thinking probably like B or maybe even A tier. Like it's a solid mob to go against.
Oh, yeah,
one that
I
kind of
agree.
controls the element, and like if you run into one in an area, you're like, okay, we're not going over here. So, what do y'all think?
I don't know. We you know what? Let's put him in B. Let's put him in B.
You want B? Okay. I'm
Yeah,
cool with,
we'll
I'm
put him
cool
in
with
I'll
B.
settle for B. I'll settle for B.
Yeah, he's just a solid, again, just fun dude that just amps up the game. All right, so now we have the fucking. It's called the Hygro Deer, but it's the blob.
That's a slimy, but put him in F.
It's the fucking blob.
I'm glad you said that. Throw
That's
him
F
in there,
tier.
just tentatively.
Throw
Throw
him
that
an
guy.
F.
Get this guy
Throw
out
him
of
an
here,
F.
bro.
Come on. The easiest thing to get away from, not even scary. You just jump around him. Slow. It's slow too. Come on. There's nothing scary about
The
this.
only
I
time
mean, like,
this thing is effective at like harming your run is if there's another mob that you're running away from,
yes,
and
yes,
then you have to worry about this.
yeah. But if it's
So,
on its own, it's
if
just
it's on
a
its own, it's a
nothing.
joke. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So,
goofy motherfucker.
At most, it's just like it's like a minor inconvenience.
mhm.
I don't think no one sees the blob and screams bloody murder.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
it
kinda
does
like
kill you quick. I will say, like,
yeah,
even
that's
one
true.
step and that's pretty much it. Like, you can't get out of it. But
Yeah, but if
it's
you're
so
dying to
slow that that's just on you if you
if you're
do.
dying to it, you're a noob,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. Yeah, so no,
Yeah,
I'm cool.
seriously.
I'm cool with F tier for the blob. All right, so now we have the Ghost Girl. How many encounters have you guys had with the Ghost Girl? Because I personally haven't had that much, but I've been around people that have had a good amount.
I've
I've
never been haunted by
once.
her, but I've been there when other people have been.
Yeah.
I was watching cams and I was, looking around and I saw the ship. I look over to the ship camera and there is a little girl staring at me and I'm like, I'm terrified. I'm locking the ship doors every 10 seconds. This thing is scary.
What I really like about the Ghost Girl is that she follows you to the ship. Like, I think
Yes.
that's awesome. Like, it's one of
It's
the very few
terrifying.
mobs that are in both areas of the map, inside and out.
Yeah, to be on
And
the ship by yourself.
I think it makes for really interesting things, like, especially for people that don't really know that much about the game. Like, they'll see the girl and be like,
Mhm.
holy shit, what the fuck is that? And your buddies will be like, what are you talking about? There's, like, nothing there. The fact that only one person can see it is pretty cool, in my opinion. And if she haunts you enough, I love how she almost taunts you, too. Like, she'll do a little dance and then disappear.
Yeah. I honestly
Yeah.
wish there was more. Now that you say that, though, I wish there was more things that kind of like only one person saw. Like, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. Yeah, maybe, like, future mobs could be added for that. So, I'm thinking A tier, honestly. Like, I think it's a very unique mob. I mean, even if you go to you're not safe in the ship. You kind of have to just always be alert and everything and be on the door shut. Otherwise,
was
she
a
will
sec-
instantly kill you when she catches you. I'm thinking A tier. What do y'all think?
A tier.
Selden?
I haven't like really ever been killed by it, so, and I don't think I've ever been haunted by it either. I didn't know it followed you. That's really cool. So your guys' opinion is good as mine.
Okay. So, I think our first, like, it's a good A tier, in my opinion. It's creepy. Like, little haunting, little ghost girl haunting you. That adds the creepy layer to it. And she's dangerous. She will instantly kill you if she gets you. And she does like this little hop and skip. This creepy little skip over to kill you, too. So.
Fuck that.
But, alright. So, moving on to the Spore Lizard. This thing seems like it should be a lot more deadlier than its character model leads
What
to
the
believe.
Fuck is this?
This is the
Yeah,
thing that,
you
like,
know
looks
what?
at you
I
and
kinda
opens
fuck
its
with this
mouth
guy.
and then backs up into a corner. He's scared of you, and if you fuck with him, and then he'll, like, spew purple, like, snake
He will
all
attack and
around
kill
him.
you. He will
He
attack and kill
will,
you.
he will kill you, but it takes a lot to aggro him to kill you. He
So
mostly
you're telling me that when I see this thing, we're both screaming at each other. I'm
Basically,
screaming at
yeah.
it, and it's screaming at me. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Respect.
I didn't know you didn't know it was harmless, effectively. I mean, not harmless, but you know what I mean.
I kind of fuck with this guy. I won't even lie to you.
It's
Like,
just
every
kind
time
of
I
like
see
a,
him-
like, you see him, you're like, okay, whatever.
Really? Not me. I always chase him a little bit. I always like to chase him a little bit. Get a
Oh,
little
so
pissed
you're
off.
provoking him.
Yeah.
He
I
won't
think
chase me
he's
back,
in the
but-
same vein as the hoarding bug, in my opinion. I think it's very, like, similar, exact same, like, situation kind of deal.
Really? I actually really like this guy. I don't know, something about him. I always make him mad, but he also does scare me a lot too with his little hissing.
He does, yeah. I mean, like I said, his character model is a lot scarier than what he really does. So that's kind of the most effective thing. It's like with my dog. She has a mean fucking bark, so if you ever hear the bark, you're like, oh shit, big dog. But then you see the dog, and it's this dumbass little tiny dog, and you're like, oh, okay.
Do
Yeah,
not
seriously.
slander
Okay.
Daisy like that. Come on.
So I think D tier, personally, just because he's not really that much of a threat. If you just leave him alone, you can continue your run, and effectively, he won't bother you.
Charity?
I respect it. Put him D tier.
All right, Selden, you good with that? I know you said you liked him, but I mean,
I like him. I mean, I personally would put him in the A, but
okay.
Hey.
Well, no, he's staying here then.
You're pushing it. You're pushing it.
Okay, the Nutcracker.
Bro, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. I'll put him in A, but fuck this guy.
whoa.
I mean, he's very effective.
Yeah.
We've yet to kill one or steal. I know you can kill him and steal a shotgun, which is cool, but goddamn, is he an accurate motherfucker? He'll shoot you from like 2 rooms away. Like, I'll have 2 whole rooms, and there'll be like a tiny sliver where he'll see me, and then that's enough. He kills me.
Yeah, I know. Charity knows a little thing or two about that, actually.
Selden.
Don't. Charity! I think, I mean, yeah, he's pretty effective with what he does. I wouldn't go so far to say he's, like, scary. It's more of a thing of, like, oh, shit, there's a Nutcracker in here. We gotta be careful.
Yeah, scary is the pressure that he puts on while you're trying to do other things.
I agree.
He's kind of like the Blob in that aspect, but he's a little bit more engaging than the Blob.
Oh,
because
yeah,
of, like,
and a lot more deadly.
Oh, now that you say that he's kind of like the Blob. Okay, maybe not A, but like a B or
I mean, I was thinking A or B. Cause
A or B?
He's very effective. I mean, and he's fast, too. Like, he's not fast at first, but when he stomps after you, it's pretty intimidating.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that he kind of hunts you. He doesn't really stop either. He kind of just chases you around.
He kind of keeps going, yeah. So...
I like him. I like him. But I do think he's just one of those things that just adds a lot of pressure when you already have something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not like by himself, you're like, okay, we got to work our way around him. But if added with other things is when it gets hectic. Yeah. I agree.
If he gets lost in the commotion, it's bad.
I think B is pretty appropriate, if I'm being honest.
I think A is pretty good.
You think A? What do you think, Charity?
I don't know. The Ghost Girl is special. Let's put him in B, because I think the Ghost is pretty special. It's unique. Nutcracker is pretty basic. I feel like he fits along with some of the other ones in B. B suits him.
I think B is a little bit more appropriate. You cool with that, Selden?
Yeah, I'm good with it now. Yeah.
All right. And B for Mr. Nutcracker. All right, time for what I believe is the most intimidating motherfucker in the game. When you run into him, your whole goal is to work around this mob. There's just something about the noise of the spring when he moves. It's so effective.
I love this thing. Listen, I don't think I have like a very I never died to it, but I've seen it, and it is the mechanic of you have to look at this thing, because the moment you look away, your ass is gonna get got. I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
For a game like this, it's
perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's so good.
When you see one, you're like, holy shit, okay, we all need to band together and like work our way around them.
Yeah, it's definitely like game changing. Like it changes the way you do your whole run.
Exactly. I've seen 3 of these fuckers together. Like, you'll be watching 2 of them, and then a third one will come out of nowhere, too. It's just super intimidating. And honestly, just the tactic, it's just creepy as hell. It's fucking scary. So
yeah, it does make for a good oh shit moment.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm thinking S tier. What do y'all think?
I think S tier is good. The mechanic of it makes it good. Having to band together to get away from this thing, and also it's like you could either save your crew or you could have one person get fucked over by this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder which one we pick. I've noticed something about S tier though. We're kind of loading up with the snap your neck characters, so we'll do S for snap your neck.
Yeah, there you go.
S for snap your neck.
Also, what he does to it's creepy to see the aftermath of a body after he's killed it, just having the spring on where the head was. All right. Speaking of intimidating, this is. We have to leave the map right now. You have like a minute of him following you around before he starts ticking. But when he ticks, that's your timer of get out or you're going to die. Because this thing is terrifying. The first time I ever saw one, it jumped around. We were hearing the noise of it coming, and we had no idea what it was. We're like, the fuck is that noise? What the fuck? And then it ate someone in front of me instantly. I'm like, holy shit, we have to go.
I don't know. To me, this thing seems a little goofy because I think the first
Well, the
time,
character model is goofy, I will admit,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's what it honestly is goofy on purpose because that's what throws you
Yeah,
off.
yeah, because you
You're
think
like,
it's
what the
not gonna
fuck is
do
this thing with
anything.
legs? You know, what the fuck? And then when he pops out and what he actually is, it's fucking
Charity,
terrifying.
have you been chased by one yet?
Well, here's the thing.
Charity
There
only
was
spends
one.
her time on the ship by the time we run into these things, so
Hold
that's
on, whoa,
why.
whoa, whoa. All right. There was one time where we were doing we were kind of doing our last run. We were like, ah, fuck it, this thing is washed anyway. And I remember being around this thing, honking a horn and jumping on its head. So I think I like kind of took the fear out of it because I was dicking around with it so much, and like it wouldn't pop. Like it was taking such a long time to pop that now I like every time I see it, I go, whatever. Like I think of it as like a nothing burger. I
I
just
see.
don't.
You
That is
haven't
I'm not
crazy.
good with it.
experienced
That is crazy. You just called
Yeah.
the Jack in the Box a nothing
the
burger.
nothing burger.
That's why I can't vote for this one. I can't vote.
As someone who's been there post pop,
Post pop is.
you don't forget that trauma. You do
No.
not forget that trauma.
I mean, I hate to like stay consistent with the scariest ones in S, but I mean, I want to give it an S too. Just
Yeah,
'cause
easy.
it controls the fucking game.
It's
Like
another
it shows
game-defining
up,
run.
you're like, oh, runs over.
Yeah, everybody wait for it to calm down.
Yeah. So, any objections to this?
No.
No.
I trust the experts on this one.
All right. Now, how do we feel about the mask?
Kind of self.
Okay,
Nerfing.
so originally, when I thought that the only way for it to spawn is for someone to physically hold the mask, I thought lame because you're never going to experience it because no one's ever going to do that. But now that I know that it can spawn on its own, I like that. I like that a lot. And I like
Yeah.
the like almost like imposter moment where it like hides among you. And it does it for a while before it tries to kill you.
Oh, I've never had that. Interesting.
So the mechanic of this, right, is if you find the mask, you just can't hold it for too long, right?
You can have it in your inventory, I think. I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, you
But
can have
if
it
you
in inventory.
physically hold it in your hands, you will eventually put it on and you will turn.
There's a button
Yeah.
to put it on, but from what what Richard's saying is you don't have to do that. There's some of them that are
Some
on
of them
the map,
just spawn on the map. And
Yeah.
that's some of the creepiest moments I've had was like I went back inside after we had made it back to the ship with some stuff. We're like, all right, let's go back in for some more stuff real quick. And two of us went back in and it was on like the library setting. And we look up to the stairs and there's someone and this is before I really knew about it. Someone standing on the railing just staring down at us. And I'm like, hey, yo, is there anything up there? And we both kind of like stare at each other for like 5 seconds and then I realized something's not right here. And the fact that it can be teleported back into the ship and start going off too.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, there's so many things that add to this like cool factor. I would give this thing like an A tier. I think it's a genius.
You're crazy.
Really.
Well, okay, let's break
So
it
then
down.
it will spawn. I think it spawns outside, and it will go to the ship and wait for people to come back and ambush you there.
Yeah,
think-
I don't know. I haven't seen it that good though. It's always slow as fuck. I don't know.
The idea it brings some level of chaos, right? Because if you have someone who has no idea what the mask does and holds on to it, then they're fucked. But then if you have someone who just likes to cause a little whatever,
You
they can
control
just
with
put
it.
on the mask
Yeah.
voluntarily. And it's like I kind of like that. I kind of like having something that you could completely screw your whole ship over, but also if you're unsuspecting, you could accidentally kill everybody on the ship.
And I like how it just does it on its own too. It doesn't
Yeah.
require someone holding the mask for it to be like maybe it can spawn once you pick up the mask, but the fact
I
that
don't
you don't have to be the one to turn for this thing to start.
Charity, what's
to
your
be on the
rating?
map.
There's a lot of layers to this. I have to you know what? I'm going to put it with the same level as an A, just cuz there's a lot of layers
What?
and it's a very
Oh my
unique
god.
game. It's a unique game mechanic.
Yeah, it goes.
I like it.
Dude, it will go to the ship and wait for you. And
I've never seen the AI on this thing good. I've always seen it look like dog water, like walk in a straight line at you immediately bad. This guy's a D tier goon to me.
Okay.
Goon.
Wow, I don't know about that.
D tier is brutal.
Yeah, no, this thing
Goon
is
is
way
just
too good for D tier.
disrespectful.
I have never been killed by this thing ever, and I've
I
been
mean-
killed by a lot.
Neither have I, but I could respect the idea behind it.
I love the idea of something hiding amongst other people and start
I
killing.
agree. I agree. Good idea, but I've never seen it work that good.
We've had it work that way like a couple of times. Maybe it's just because I've personally been killed by it like at least twice. I've seen, oh, holy shit. But if you're saying D, I wanted to go A, and so did Charity, but maybe we can, what about B then?
All right,
we can bump it down to a B.
I'm cool with B. Because again, like, it's, I feel like it's still pretty rare for it to spawn without someone putting it on.
yeah, I want it more, and I want it like I want
Yeah.
one to be there. Like honestly, I want one whenever we land and we're all jumping out, waiting for the thing, waiting for the care package. I want one then.
Okay, that would be sick. Like, maybe I'm one of like the harder moons that could do that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. That would be sick. All right, puppy dog.
Oh,
The
oh
eyeless
my
dog
God.
is what it's called.
This thing, it's got to
There
be
are
the,
so many moments
yeah,
where
it's got to be the quickest thing to increase my heart rate. By far.
I don't know what the detail is of the sound that will aggro it, but I feel like it's very, very minimum.
Yeah,
I remember my
It's
alarm
anything.
on my phone went off across the room when Andrew was playing, and he went,
Oh,
oh.
yeah.
because he was hiding from this thing.
I think the dog is I love hate the dog, right? I love the dog because it adds so much to the game, but I hate it because I feel so much fear. And it is so, the minute if you're on the ship, the minute you hear the dog and there are other people on the ship with you, one person just has to go, shut up. There's silence. No one says a thing because they're all terrified. It's the fact that the dog can come into the ship and
kill everybody.
you.
And it goes
Like,
and it does
come
it
on.
quick too.
It's a bloodbath in there.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it
I
can
love the dog.
sneak up behind you. It doesn't make that much noise, too.
Yes.
Like, it
Yeah.
can show up without you ready for it. It's not like the next thing where it's, like, loud and you're like, oh, shit, here comes something. Like, sometimes...
Yeah, but then I personally feel like it gets loud and it calls other dogs. Because I feel like when the one dog is aggroed, it's a shit show.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
think-
Like, you can also low-key kind of troll with it, almost like with the mask. You'd be like, why do we need to be quiet, guys? Huh?
Yeah.
You know? And you're like, oh, shut the fuck up.
I've never done that. I've never done that ever.
Exactly.
the whole ship dead silent, and Selden goes, hey guys, and we're just he's out here squeaking stuff on the ship. I think this is a great enemy. S tier. I love the dog.
I'm
Just
low-key
'cause it
thinking S
makes
tier. I was
you-
thinking A at first, but honestly, the more I think about it,
No
like
way,
it's
this is an
such
S-tier
it's
monster.
such a persistent threat that it's got to be an S tier.
I love it's one of the things when everybody in your first room in, everybody goes in la di da di da, they're all singing yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Same thing. Whenever you have a good haul and everybody like, I mean, you've been in there
Everyone's
for a
chilling on the
long
ship. You're on
time.
the ship. You're safe.
No, not
you know?
you're on the ship. No, I mean when everybody's coming out, everybody's got all their loot. They're coming out. Everybody's all happy. As soon as they open that door and someone gets a whiff, it's just boom. Like everybody shut the fuck up.
Without even having to say anything. Everybody
Yeah.
just does it. All right, so I feel like it's brother because they're often like chilling next to each other.
Yeah.
Now we have the Forest Keeper, which is the big giant fucker that stomps around your ship. This thing is weird. Its aggro is very strange, in my opinion. It aggroes by sight and sound, but I feel like you can
Yeah.
play around it like pretty easily.
Yeah.
like,
But
the
then at the
first
same time,
Mm.
if this thing's aggroed on you and you're nowhere near the ship, you're fucked. like, you're not getting away.
The first time I encountered this thing, it was absolutely terrifying because I was far away from the ship and he knew I was around, and it's just staying quiet and sneaking around. But the longer you keep playing, he kind of loses his like scare factor because if you're on the ship, he can't touch you in the ship, so he kind of just hangs around and he's kind of just a nuisance at this point. But
It's more of a nuisance for people that are going back into the building
Yeah.
for more loot. Because by
Yeah.
the time they come back out, then this fucker likely would have spawned.
Honestly, he kind of puppy guards the ship.
Oh yeah, well that's because a lot of people like with this guy, they it's not like the dog, so they know it can't get inside and it can't get anyone that's inside, so they're cool to talk. So he hangs around the ship because people won't shut the fuck up. So whenever when somebody's trying to get back to the ship, it kind of screws them.
I wish he would like shake the ship or like turn off the
Oh,
power.
wow.
If he was able to turn off the
Something.
power or turn like move the ship even.
That'd be
Like,
crazy.
can you imagine if it could pick up the ship and try to shake us out of the ship?
God, I would love that. That'd
Yeah.
be like perfect.
But I still feel like it's really solid of a mob. Like it's
Yeah, I
you
think
hear one
he's
stomping around, you're like,
anxiety-inducing.
oh, okay. So
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
I
Especially
think
when I'm heading back.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm thinking like A tier for me.
I think so.
we could do A. We could do A.
So
I literally
yeah.
think it's so stressful, like just hearing it stomps, especially when you're like those last 3 steps of the ship, and then you
And
hear
you
it
hear
aggro you.
you hear the
It's like,
boom boom
oh,
like you're like, oh my god. Especially if you're carrying like a bunch of things and
I
you're really
know,
heavy.
yeah.
Because then you're panicking and you like fumble your movement and then you likely will die. So okay, so now we have the Earth Leviathan, which is the big giant fucking worm that pops up out of the ground and eats you. This thing's like a tornado in the fact that there is very little warning and very little time to do anything when he shows up. So every now and then you'll hear the noise of the ground, you'll hear the rumble, but most of the time when that rumble happens, it's already too late.
Yeah, I kind of do it based on feel. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, when I know there's a worm, I just kind of like randomly will juke her to the side and stuff.
Yeah.
And that worked out pretty good because I'm like, yeah, that's probably about to attack me.
Listen, I ain't never died of this damn worm. This worm to me is nothing. I feel like it is so useless.
I feel like it would be more effective if it could do something to the ship. If it could figure out a way to like eat the people in the ship, like the dog, it would be a lot more.
Well, yeah, but that seems crazy for that thing. But I think
Yeah.
I think the big thing for it is if it does get you, you lose the loot.
Mm-hmm.
that's a run hurter. It definitely hurts to run.
I
'cause,
think
like,
C tier is pretty appropriate for it.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm
it-
like,
it-
ugh.
It's not really scary, but you're more thinking like, fuck me, we just eat. Because a lot of these things, if you get killed, you drop all your loot and your buddies can grab your loot and dip. But this thing, everything's gone. Your body, your loot, all that. So
Yeah, I'm not that bad at the game, so I personally never died to it. Just like Charity, we're decent at the game, unlike some people on this call. But I do agree. When I go back to pick up my idiot teammate who died to the worm's loot, and it's not there,
and the
I
loot
spent
is
a long
always
time.
bugged on the monitor too. Like it always
I
shows
know.
that it's there, but it's not.
Spent a long time on a walkie-talkie with someone in the ship telling me where to go just for it not to be there.
Exactly. We thinking C tier? C tier cool with the?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. C tier's good.
All right, so this thing is called the Baboon Hawk.
What
I'm gonna be
the
honest. This
fuck?
thing is kind of dumb.
What the fuck is this thing?
So this
What
thing,
is
but this thing patrols outside the ship at dark, but it hardly ever spawns compared to even the worm, like to the other ones. And when it does, it will. It's a 50-50 on whether or not it feels like attacking you if you're by yourself. If there are 2 people sneaking back together, it is terrified of both of you. So I feel like it's more of a nuisance. The only reason that this thing could actually be effective and scary is because it makes a lot of noise, so it draws the fucking dogs over to you. I'm thinking
Yeah.
F tier for the hawk.
I think the mechanic's cool though, like where you can like yell at it and kind of scare it off if it's coming at you. And I do like the strength in numbers thing. But also, like you said, its biggest threat is that it can alert other things.
So I don't know. I feel like since it kind of relies on other things, it's just kind of lame. So
Yeah, put it in F.
and honestly, of all of them, I just
Fuck
haven't
outta
encountered
here.
it that much.
Yeah, it
So,
feels like it's
No.
really rare.
it
right?
feels really rare. Yeah. All right. Last but most certainly not least is the fucking bees.
Oh.
That's what this is.
S tier. S tier.
Okay.
Those bees
So-
have killed so
I put them
many
in the
idiots.
friendship tier.
Yeah, because when you see it, you're like, okay, there's a beehive here. We'll grab it at the end of the run.
Yeah, is there an H tier for hubris of man?
It's an idiot killer.
It's an
It
idiot
kills the
killer.
idiots.
I love. It can become unpredictable when you take its hive because then it just roams.
Yeah,
And you're like, oh shit. And when they latch onto you, you're most likely
hard.
fucked.
It's hard,
Like
yeah.
it's
You're
so
dead.
hard to get away from them. You're pretty
Yeah.
much fucked. The best thing I've ever encountered with the bees is they got inside the ship and someone closed the door with them inside the ship and they just went to town. They're
Yeah.
more funny than anything.
Yeah, I think they're just like 100% comedic effect. Like, because they're not a threat unless you got to be greedy. And if you're greedy, then that's on you.
Exactly. Yeah. So
If
I don't
you're
know.
greedy and if you can't run away.
I'm thinking C or D. You know, or with them. They're effective.
They're
They'll
fun.
kill
They
you.
are
They'll
fun,
kill you
yeah.
quick.
We could do C.
Yeah,
C,
I'm going C.
but in my heart it's an S just because
Yeah,
it is
I
just
It's
agree.
just funny.
natural
it's just,
selection.
It's almost guaranteed humor too when you
Yeah.
when you're dealing with
true.
them.
What's so funny is one person's greed can quickly kill the whole crew.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's the thing with a lot of these, like with the dog, with the mask, and even with this fucking thing. If you don't like, it'll start haunting other people. But I feel like this is a good tier list. I feel like this kind of makes sense for everything that's there. The only other mobs that were available was the manticoil, which is just the birds that fly around, and then the roaming locust, which literally do nothing. So
Yeah.
I felt like it wasn't really.
Well, those
worth
would be F
throwing
tier
them in there.
monsters.
Yeah. So
I wish you could interact with them somehow. Maybe you can shoot the birds with a shotgun. I never tried
maybe
it.
I never really thought about that. But I don't know. So this is everything that we have up to this point.
Wait. Hold on. I think aren't we forgetting a monster? The company when you go and
Oh yeah.
Oh, the little hentai monster. Yeah.
I think that guy is S once again only because of
Now,
the stupidity
fuck
of
that
other
stupid
people.
fucking thing. I'm putting it in D because it's so annoying to ring the bell for it to finally open the door. You'll
It
hit it
relies
like a
on
couple
patience.
times, and it'll be random if that door opens or if he comes out swinging.
I'm excited to see where they go next with it.
I am
like this
too.
story.
So the two newest things, like the Nutcracker and the Mask, are like a perfect addition to like an already well-established group of creatures. That it's like wherever they go next. Like I'm hoping something new outside. I think would be really unique.
Oh yeah, and increase the masks like spawn earliness.
Spawn
like,
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing. I feel like everything else is good. Like nothing really needs to be nerfed or buffed, or I mean maybe these guys, but like if the slime was faster, then it would be a lot more like, oh holy shit, you know?
I think it's fine that it's not that you need some like slow
Some
moving.
slow shit. Yeah, I
average
guess
that,
you're right. Well, I guess that's gonna be it for our Lethal Company monsters tier list.
Good looking list.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it, I think. And we all kind of shared the same opinions on like 90% of this. So kind of
Yeah.
rare for us. Normally we're at each other's throats when it comes to
Please,
Definitely,
please.
I would
tier
have
lists.
put the little rattlesnake
Where's the
guy
little-
higher.
this little nasty fucker.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
he's-
love him.
he's-
Like every time I see him, I just fuck with him.
Right where he belongs.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's gonna be it. Yeah.
Definitely more content coming. Make
Yeah.
sure to check out our Patreon for all the content early.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you just joining us, this was on our Patreon for a week already, and now you guys are seeing it on YouTube. So if you want to see our content 1 week ahead of time, check it out on Patreon.
All right. Well, thank y'all for watching. We'll see you in the next video, and stay tuned.
Goodbye.